Hello everybody, it is Steve, your friendly neighborhood lawn gnome. Welcome back to another video over here on That's Comical, and if you happen to be watching on a Wednesday, happy new comic book day. So I have been dying to sit in front of the camera and talk to you guys about this little show that just wrapped up its now first season on HBO Max. You probably have heard of it by now. It is the brand new Peacemaker show, which of course is a spin-off of the Peacemaker character that we first got introduced to in The Suicide Squad, starring John Cena, of course, as Peacemaker. So I gotta be honest with you, I didn't know what to think of this because of the fact that, number one, when it comes to DC shows, which happen to mostly be on the CW when it comes to live action, they never seem to really give me what I want, and that is great comic book themed stories and very little teenage angst. But whether it's Arrow or The Flash or Legends of Tomorrow, that's basically all I seem to get regardless. So knowing that Peacemaker's show was coming, and knowing that James Gunn, the director of The Suicide Squad and the Guardians of the Galaxy, was going to be behind it, and knowing what The Suicide Squad as a movie ended up becoming, I had a feeling that if I didn't give this show a shot, I was going to really miss out. And the minute that episode 1 through 3 aired, I watched them all, and wow. Oh, wow. That is the only word that can truly describe this show. It is one of the most entertaining and fun shows that I have watched in such a long time. This was a great opportunity for John Cena because of the fact that he did give us a very interesting performance as Peacemaker, but because there were so many other cast members, we never really got to get a chance to see really what he could do. And thanks to James Gunn giving him this chance, this is the best role that I've seen John Cena in. He is just fantastic. I love his dynamic with the characters. I love his story. I love how he can be super serious and super childish all at the same time and not give a shit. Especially with the introduction of characters like Vigilante and his pet eagle, Eagly. Let me just say that I am hoping that there's going to be a Peacemaker show Funko Pop set, because if they can give me a Peacemaker with Eagly on his arm, I will buy that one. And I will buy the Vigilante Pop as well. Also, I really appreciated that they really wanted to make sure that this was a show that was well embedded in the DCEU. We got so many nods to all the other heroes that we've already seen, even a couple that we haven't seen in this specific world, and the fact that Peacemaker just makes fun of them is absolutely hilarious. But there are so many additional surprises, very interesting cameos, but of course, the real selling point of Peacemaker is the main selling point that many of us who have watched and enjoyed this show have, and that is the opening credits. Yeah, when I first watched those opening credits, I didn't know what it was. My mind had just frozen in shock and awe. Like, what even is this? It is basically a very interesting dance number to the song Do You Really Want to Taste It by the band Wigwam. And all I do know is that after the show first aired, the fans of the show already, because let me just tell you, people who started watching this became instantaneous fans unless they didn't like it otherwise. And they all went on to social media and YouTube to find that theme song and opening sequence so they could watch it again, to the point where it practically broke the internet. And basically, HBO Max put the intro on their YouTube page so people could just watch the intro whenever they wanted. It was amazingly funny to see that happen, but absolutely not a surprise because it is such a catchy introduction and it is just so fun to watch. But I really appreciated that Peacemaker's story still dealt with the paranormal, the real comic book feel, and even though it was over the top, raunchy, and violent, it was still such a fun time. And I love the fact that James Gunn did hated it because James Gunn was dealt a rough hand by Disney because of all of those left-wing loonies that uncovered his past tweets and said that he shouldn't be a part of the Disney family anymore. And just to know that Disney went back to him with their tails between their legs saying, yeah, we kinda can't do a third Guardians of the Galaxy movie without you. So this show was made long after he got hired back, but one of the few things that he did with Suicide Squad is the same thing that he did here with Peacemaker. He basically gave a middle finger to the Disney company saying, yeah, all you want me to do is make PG-13 movies. Well, let me show you what happens when Warner Brothers gives me the rated R button to push, and he pushes it. It is fantastic. I would highly recommend, even if you are not someone who enjoys blood, you will still enjoy this show because you are just going to laugh your ass off and have a great time. And because it was so successful, it's going to get a second season. And I am very curious as to what's going to happen in the second season, and more importantly, are there going to be some other DCEU films moving down the line that are going to tie into this in some way. But it also made me interested to learn more about Peacemaker as a character. I actually bought a comic that just came out recently that was done by one of the greats, Garth Ennis, and it's not in-your-face funny, but it was definitely an interesting look into the man behind the helmet, aka Chris Smith. But this was a fantastic show. I highly recommend it to every single one of you, especially if you love James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy and want to see the bar get pushed, and you love the Suicide Squad. If you love the Suicide Squad, you're going to love Peacemaker, which is why I was surprised at the end, why I actually hesitated on watching this show, because I loved the Suicide Squad. But anyway, everybody, those are my thoughts on Peacemaker Season 1. I am so excited to give you guys a review of Season 2 somewhere down the line, but in the meantime, just leave your comments in the box below, and I'll see you in the next one.